It looks to me like we're almost there.
Are we there?
Check it out. Hey!
We're back.
Welcome back to Call It in the Ring, everybody. I'm Kevin Kittredge. And look who we got here, Johnny Parker.
Hey, everybody. Good to be back.
Are we smooth? We're very choppy on the monitor.
Very choppy.
That's right. That's right. We're in the future. We're at max headroom. Check it out. We just had the season premieres of Raw and Smackdown the day after Wrestlemania and 2 days after Wrestlemania.
Good.
A lot of NXT call-ups. And even next week, they don't even want to say the draft anymore.
Exactly. Superstar shakeup.
It's time to shake things up, as Vince used to say.
So we're going to see a lot of superstars go to places they haven't been before, or some return, and so we're legit going to see some people move around a little bit. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about because we had some belts being exchanged, which was surprising as well.
And speaking of returns, we got one back from injury, one back from being far away in the distant Impact land.
So yeah, we got a lot to talk about today.
So while we start to go over Raw and SmackDown, why don't you tell us your most surprising thing in the chat, and we'll tell you if you should have expected that or not. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about what happened on Monday. So what do we have? Monday Night Raw. It starts off.
We almost forgot though.
What did we forget?
The T-shirt. The T-Public.
Oh, goodness gracious. We want Joe on our good sides. And Joe, if he was here, would remind us, yes, there is a T-Public #show page, store, where you can get some wonderful designs by that #show. And that's how you help the show keep going.
Yep.
That's what they say. I don't even know how true that is. It's got to be true. The money has to go into the show.
Somewhere, somehow.
It's not going into Joe's new Lamborghini.
It's not.
He doesn't have a new Lamborghini.
And also, don't forget,
it's at least 3 years old.
And don't forget, there's that cool super chat feature too.
Yeah.
So, as we're chatting it up tonight, if you want to get your chat like right on the screen, you want to get it right to the top and hear us say it and like give you a thank you and whatnot, please support. Like you said, that helps keeps the lights on, helps keep everything going, and maybe funds more money going to Junior's pocket. I mean, helps the show.
I mean, I try to bring up the good points that people bring up anyway in the chat, but if you pay for it, we're saying it.
Exactly. When you move to the top.
Matt says our mouths don't match the sound, so I think it's still a little choppy, but that's fine. We'll just talk like this.
There it is.
Just be like, hey, so what a wonderful show Monday Night Raw was.
It's like we're Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Kind of like...
yeah, we're like Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania.
Exactly. And also, don't forget to join that #show community Facebook page. It's a great place to chat with other people about all your interests, what you're passionate about. And again, to keep the conversation going once the show is done as well.
So I just want to do a little poll here. Does anybody here like the Power Rangers? Oh, everybody. Okay, cool. Okay, I was just wondering.
So that's also a great place to talk about Power Rangers too, and comics, and video games, and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Yeah, there's that page on Facebook. So Raw started off with Stephanie McMahon coming down to the ring, and I'm like, all right. And she was selling the whole arm coming down. It was slightly amusing, a little over the top, but what are you going to do? And she calls out. It was straight up, and somebody pointed this out on Reddit as well. It was the day after WrestleMania 14 all over again. When Vince brought Stone Cold out and said, we can do this the right way. We can do this the corporate way. And in Austin, maybe that wasn't the day after. No, it was the day after.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you because I saw what I was watching. I was like, holy crap, she's pulling her dad right now.
And
she's totally doing what her dad would do.
It's so silly for me to look back at this as an old man and just see all of the patterns. It's like Battlestar Galactica. All of this is done before, and we've done this before. What's the phrase? All of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again. And that's how it's going. But sure enough, Stephanie was Vince, and Ronda Rousey was Austin, and they did the bit, and down to the finishing move. She made her tap out to the arm again. It was great. The crowd loved it. Crowd was still chanting for Ronda Rousey.
Yep. Which is awesome, which means, happy for Ronda because she's gotten over. I mean, the cool thing about Ronda is, though, is that, like, they've kind of realized her weak point is her mic skills, so they more have to focus upon her actions. Again, she's a physically dominant woman, so let her actions speak for her, and it's working out perfectly.
We didn't forget to talk about NXT TakeOver, Craig. It's just that it was 12:30 at night, and man,
we were so tired. I
am now 44 years old. It's my birthday.
It was your birthday. Happy birthday, Double K.
Thank you very much. Listen, I can't be staying up talking wrestling past 12:30 at night. It's a lot of fours. It's just enough fours. But yeah, I mean, NXT TakeOver, the ladder match, everything was awesome. Every match was great.
We've got so much to talk about. We still had to get to the New Japan, Ring of Honor, the Bullet Club stuff as well, and talk about what's next for the Bullet Club. So there's a lot to go through tonight.
Matt brings up a good point. Thank you. Who's Boy Blue? That's new. You're new, Boy Blue. Thank you thank you for the birthday wishes. Matt brings up a good point with when everything was over and Stephanie was hobbling back and the crowd was chanting "na na 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 goodbye." JoJo says, "Thanks, T-Wolf and Rude Master." JoJo says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please show some respect for Stephanie McMahon." Very funny. I'd never heard that before. That was very funny. I love that they start going,
boo, which is like, that's kind of the icing on the cake right there. It's like, it's lovely.
Yes.
Like, I gotta admit, my favorite crowd was like the after WrestleMania crowd was one of my favorite crowds.
Sure.
Because again, it's all your passionate fans who are still in town who've traveled across the world to come for WrestleMania, and they're just so full of energy and just like they just bring so much life to that arena. So it was awesome.
And hopefully, I think at least from what I could tell, the people who were playing with the fucking beach balls, they went home.
Yeah.
I didn't see any beach ball action at Raw. Nia Jax comes out, and she's going to face Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, which is like, what? That doesn't seem fair. She should have a partner. And we have the Raw debut of Ember Moon.
Oh, so good.
I think this is a great move. You're all for it?
Yes. Well, here's the thing.
Do you think Ember's ready?
I think Ember's more than ready. Like, she's shown that she was ready like last year in the matches she had with Asuka, and she's done a great job of leading that NXT Women's Division for the past like few months and everything like that. So I think she's definitely ready to make go on to the next level. In fact, I would say like it's also kind of needed too because we've talked about it before, that Raw Women's locker room is kind of small, so they needed some new blood in there for a while.
I know Junior's busy trying to fix the leg, but Ember Moon, is she ready for Raw, Junior? He says yes. I think he said yes. He's very focused on getting a smooth stream. Daniel, you good with Ember Moon on Raw? Okay, it's a thumbs up from Daniel.
It's unanimous.
Okay, very good. So anyway, of course, they won, and they won with the Eclipse. So a lot of people got to see the Eclipse for the first time last night.
Exactly. What was cool, too, is Alexa Bliss gave her the push, so she took the pin from her and everything like that, which was awesome. And again, props to Alexa Bliss for just being a team player.
Yeah. Braun and Nicholas had to give up the tag titles.
Why?
Because of scheduling conflicts.
Why?
Because Nicholas is still in the 4th grade.
But the good news is, though, Braun said when he graduates, they're coming back for the titles. And as Nicholas said, they're going to get these hands!
Yes, he did. He said that very similar to that. So what do we have now? What is it, some type of tournament?
So they don't want to call it a tag team tournament.
That's
like it was
so
on
weird.
SmackDown.
Why do people not like to? Oh, because
they had one on SmackDown like twice already. Okay. So now it's a tag team eliminator, which is like, okay, we're doing the exact same thing. And which I was like, you know what, that's not too bad because it gives the tag team division a fresh start. And then the way it started off, to jump ahead a little bit, was the first match for that tag team tournament was a Revival versus the Club. And so Anderson and Gallows took the pin, and the Revival got the push. So they're going on to the next round.
Do we know how many teams are in this? Did they give us brackets?
They have not given us brackets yet because I think there's still some people premiering.
No, next week. It's going to be
Anderson and Gallows. Sorry, the Revival.
Next week it's the Revival against who?
Against Hardy and Wyatt.
Oh, and that's it?
That's it. That's up. 4 tag teams.
And that winner goes up against the Bar at Royal Rumble.
Oh.
That's all this.
Okay, so that's a really short tournament.
That's a really short tournament.
Yeah, okay.
And that's at the Greatest Royal Rumble. We'll have new tag team champs.
So, I mean, calling the prediction right now, I feel bad for the Revival because I thought this might go a little bit longer, but it looks like the Revival will be facing the newest tag team of Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Who do you think is going to win, Double K?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I think if it goes back to the Bar, it's kind of stale.
Well, no, I said, who do you think is going to be between the Revival and the Hardys? Hardy and Wyatt.
I see. I guess Hardy and Wyatt are taking it all, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where the story goes from there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Another good point that we did get on Raw was we got the debut of another tag team. So later on, Rhino and what's the homie's name?
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater come out, and Heath Slater goes on about how he's got kids and how him and Rhino were the first SmackDown champions. They feel they're not being respected and should have an opportunity in this tournament. And it says they'll take on any tag team in the back. And sure enough, we get another NXT call up, and we get the debut of the Authors of Pain.
Johnny, I'm trying to go in order.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Jeepers creepers.
I got so excited. It's the Authors of Pain.
You're right. But next, No Way Jose showed up.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
And it's kind of interesting because we saw him in the crowd at WrestleMania when Braun was looking for his partner. And it did make me think, man, what's Jose been doing on NXT? And it's a whole lot of nothing. Yeah. And I felt he'd been kind of forgotten about. And where usually people come from NXT after getting a hot run, like, I don't even know if Jose even got a shot at the title, much less any sort of reign. I don't, but they brought him out too with a conga line, which straight up for me screamed, what was it? Adam Rose's party.
This party,
and I even in my head I went, all they're missing is the fucking bunny. And like the second person was wearing bunny ears.
Yep.
So I don't know. The crowd seemed to dig it. The crowd was into it. So I like No Way Jose. I think he's fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
And I think he's a good wrestler. So
no, and he's got a body for wrestling. Like he's a big athletic dude, and I kind of feel with you. I agree with you because the problem with it is that he didn't get like a good NXT push, but he was there having a lot of good matches. He's kind of like Elias, I think. He's just a good overall worker who just need to like refine some things and whatnot. And then he'll get the push up to like the main roster, which it seems like he's done. At the same time, though, I'm just not sure what else he'll do because he just pretty much comes out and does his dance and everything like that. So I'm not sure if he'll be as successful as Elias, though.
I look at No Way Jose, who I like very much, but I think to myself, man, if Tyler Breeze got fucking the shaft,
yeah,
so quickly, I don't know how well that bodes for Jose.
No, I agree.
Oh, okay. It is. It's just the two of us tonight.
Dynamic duo.
That's all right. Which am I, Batman or Robin?
You be Batman. I'll be Nightwing.
I get to be Batman.
It's your birthday.
Okay, all right.
But I'll be Nightwing though. I'm going back to Bloodhaven.
There we go. I'm going to be the Adam West Batman.
Oh, there you go.
Who was it? I think it was a wrestler. Maybe it wasn't a wrestler, but they asked a celebrity, "Who is your favorite Batman?" And he said immediately Adam West. It made me very happy. I wish I could remember who it was.
Respect. OG. But yeah, that's the problem with like a lot of these NXT call-ups because for some of them I get excited about. Like when the women get called up, I'm like, you know what, cool, because the women's division does need more bodies. It needs more people for storylines. That makes sense. For the tag team division, I'm like, yeah, of course, call these guys up. We need more tag teams. We need good tag teams that make the storylines more interesting. But so for these single wrestlers, I just feel worried about them because they don't always get over. Like Ty Dillinger. Again, he comes up. He's the perfect 10. He has an amazing NXT run. He makes that debut at the Royal Rumble where they're going 10-10. He's coming out to the 10 spot. People are still behind him, but he's barely on SmackDown. He gets like a TV match maybe once a month. And so I agree with you. With No Way Jose, like it's dope that he's there, but at the same time, though, I'm not sure what he'll be doing.
Yeah. Then we went on to the Good Brothers versus Revival, which we kind of talked about a bit there. Revival beat the Good Brothers.
All right, got to ask you a question. What do you feel about the future of the Good Brothers? Like, I'm a little bit worried about them, to be honest.
No, I get that. I think right now they're very lucky that Finn Balor exists.
Yeah.
And I thought when they hooked up together, I thought it was going to be all right. All three of them get some major heat, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Nah, yeah. I agree. I feel like they're being wasted right now. Like, I think the biggest mistake that was done to them was separating them from AJ Styles.
Yeah.
When AJ Styles was still a heel and they had to move them to SmackDown or whatnot and they kept those guys on Raw, I'm like, no, they need to stay together. Because when they're AJ brings like the fan power, the charisma, whatnot, and then those guys get a little bit more eyes turned to them and they get to prove themselves like every week, which they were doing. Because to be honest with you, that summer when they were going around, we're going to get to our favorite thing, beat up John Cena, was hilarious.
That was
great
like, shit.
It was fun. But the problem is, though, them on their own without AJ to help like sell that, put that over, they lost the fun. Because honestly, like I compare AJ with the Good Brothers to the New Day. Like they're guys who are naturally friends. They ride together. They go to like stadium arenas, everything like that. They hang out together. And so the thing about it is when those guys are all together, like getting that chemistry going, they're going to get over. But when you separate them, you kind of doom them for failure. Like I kind of feel like they're just in their contract right now at this point.
I don't think they're in their contract. Listen, I'm sure they're still making good money. I don't think they're angry. Clearly, more can happen with them, and we're all for it.
Yeah, I hope so. Honestly, again, they're good guys and they're great wrestlers. They did great stuff in New Japan. But I'm just worried for the future.
Right. Well, Seth Rollins came out. He was very happy. Seth freaking Rollins is back. Yeah, he did the little bit.
This is good for the leather.
He and Miz came out. I think Balor came out. And Jeff Hardy returned as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a tag match later tonight. Let's see here. This is a reminder here. The greatest Royal Rumble is going to have... Is Joe in there? I didn't know Joe was in there.
Yep.
Okay, so Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Joe in a... Oh, and that's a ladder match, too. Mm-hmm. Man, this Royal Rumble show is going to be great.
I know. It's weird. It's like a glorified house show that's shaping up to be a really good pay-per-view. Like, I'm honestly looking forward to that more than I am Backlash.
Yeah, man.
With the 50-person Royal Rumble, which is going to be awesome because Daniel Bryan's in the Royal Rumble, as well as like Matt Hardy and a few others, and Chris Jericho. So I'm really excited for this.
I think our next match was Sasha Banks against Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose had her little buddies out there, and Paige came out, and why are they dragging their feet on this shit with Paige and with Bayley and Sasha?
They really are. Because, like, to give the recap of what happened, so pretty much they're having the match. At one point, Mandy Rose falls on the outside. Sasha goes to, like, do her, like, knee thing, but, like, Mandy Rose kind of, like, messes it up. And then they were bobbling, like, going back and forth outside. Bayley comes in to kind of, like, help Sasha and ends up clotheslining Sasha instead of Mandy Rose. And then she panics, puts Sasha back in the ring. Mandy hits her with the knee, gets the count, and then immediately after this happens, instead of like talking to her, trying to resolve it, Bayley runs straight to the back. And then Sasha leaves and goes to the back as well. So I agree with you. Like, they're totally dragging their feet with this thing, and it's like, I have no idea where it's going.
And, I mean, we got that match. They're doing the match on Monday. I guess it's just another way. They really want people to watch Monday with the draft.
Yeah.
This is definitely a built-up match between the two. So maybe, hopefully that's it. Maybe they're just using it as an appeal for people to tune in.
But I feel bad for it, though. Like, I don't feel it's getting enough screen time because, like, Bayley and Sasha have arguably had some of the best matches in the past for, like, the women's division just in general. But I don't know. It just feels like a throwaway match at this point. Like, I hope it's going to be good. They're great in-ring competitors, and they're super talented, but I don't feel it's getting the shine that it should or the time to build like it should be getting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Maybe Bayley will turn heel or something cool will happen.
After that match, Paige is still in the ring, and she gives her retirement speech. Her neck injury is too severe. She's done as an in-ring performer. She thanks people. She thanks Daniel Bryan for giving her hope. She thanks Edge, who was very nice to her.
Who was in the back and told her there's life after wrestling, which is awesome.
Yeah. It sounds like she's still going to try to make it happen in the long run, but it's going to be quite some time. If that happens. Obviously, tonight, most of you know, she showed up at SmackDown as the general manager.
Yep. So that's awesome for her. That gives her a quick turnaround, keeps her involved in the business and everything like that. So that's great for her.
I wonder how that's better for her than being a manager of Absolution.
No, I agree with you. It's like, well, yeah, I guess maybe gives her, I don't know, I guess maybe just gives her like a bigger role to play. Because they do need someone to be like that general manager role and everything like that. But no, I agree with you. Like, why is that better than being just like a manager for Absolution? Well, maybe also because managers sometimes have to get involved. And they really don't want to put her in that position. And
we don't know what's happening with the other two of Absolution. Maybe Absolution has been dissolved. Who knows?
It's absoluted.
Yes. Is that? I was going to say that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not a word. Not a word.
The crowd was very supportive. Everybody was really nice, and it was very sad. It made me sad. No, I feel bad for Paige.
I agree. Like, there was also, it was like the thank you Paige chants. This is your house. It was really great to see. And then she thanked all the women in the back, and it's a sad state of affairs. But again, I'm happy she's still around. And honestly, when it comes down to it, your health is your health. Yeah. It's like, I remember Edge was talking recently on his podcast with Christian. People were going to him saying, well, if Daniel Bryan can come back, why can't you come back? And Edge was like, no. This is a different level of injury. Like, I cannot come back. Like, the W will never clear me, and it'd be, like, life-threatening. I cannot come back. And he's like, I'm content, though. I lived my life. I had a great run. And so, honestly, sometimes you got to put your health first.
Yeah. Elias comes out. Crowd loves him. We walk with Elias.
It's so loud. It's the loudest one we ever got.
He even called the crowd scumbags.
And they started chanting, "We are scumbags. We are scumbags." So I was like, you know you're over when the people are insulting themselves.
It's very good. Lashley comes out. Lashley makes his return. Bobby Lashley. Did they even call him Bobby, or is it just Lashley? Both? Okay, they called him both. That was a heck of a suplex.
Mm-hmm. Held it for a while. Held it one-armed at one point. It's kind of cool.
I wonder how much of that, okay, I'm not a fan of the headband. Am I alone? Am I just a jerk for saying that? I think he looks considerably more badass without that stupid headband.
I think he just sweats a lot.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm overlooking the practical use of the headband.
I will say this: Elias's new shirt they have for him, the WWE Walk with Elias, is pretty freaking sick. Like, I kind of want to get that shirt. That
I don't think I saw
awesome.
it.
It's right there on the screen.
Oh, is that what he's wearing?
Yeah, it's like the black with the blue on there. Like, I love the color combination with the orange and everything like that. It just looks like a dope shirt. Like, it looks awesome.
I think it's funny. At WrestleMania at the party, we were looking up T-shirts, and I was like, "No, I don't like this one. No, not really this one." And then someone said, "Kevin only likes wrestling T-shirts that don't look like wrestling T-shirts." And I think they're right. I need to keep them basic.
No,
I'm good with the
I agree.
NWO shirt, like Junior's wearing right now. Yeah, it can't be too crazy anymore.
No.
I'm 44. I can't wear a delete shirt anywhere.
Four.
Yes.
All right. So
They were back to chanting that, by the way. I don't know if it was WrestleMania or if it was last night. They were chanting 10 for the 10 count.
Yeah, which
Don't
is
like
awesome.
it.
Oh, you don't like it? You hate
No,
chants,
I hate... Listen, if it's going to happen during Ty's match, I'm all for it. If it's going to happen at any other match, I'm not.
So let me ask you this. Do you hate the yes chant?
I hate it. Well, here's the deal. Let's take a step back.
Okay.
For a long time, when Daniel Bryan was hot as fuck, the McMahons legitimately were saying, Daniel Bryan is not over. The chant is over. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course Daniel Bryan's over. But then the fans would chant yes at stuff that had nothing to do with Daniel Bryan. So, good job. You're fucking over Daniel Bryan.
Oh, come on. That's more like they're fucking over because they're just not recognizing. Because I agree with you. Because I heard the same thing that they said the chant was over. But I think that was just them not being able to recognize how over this guy actually was. With the 10 chant, I think the 10 chant's a little bit of both. I think Ty is over, but I think it's just also fun for the audience, too, to do the 10 chant. I kind of relates to Ty just how over he is as well.
I think it's more the fans jerking themselves off than it is support of Ty Dillinger.
Well, here's the thing. This is my comparison for it. Because if we think back to the Andre the Giant Battle Royale? Was a battle tournament? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. So in it, there's a point where Matt Hardy faces off against Ty Dillinger, and they go back chant for chant. And the 10 chant and the Lee chant are pretty heated. They're going back and forth. Later on, there's a moment where Matt Hardy goes against Apollo Crews. And actually, not Apollo Crews, Titus Worldwide, and that was last night on Raw. Not as over. He's trying to do the worldwide, and people are like, nah, we're good. And so, I think Ty is a bit over.
That's fair.
I think the problem with it is, though, is Ty's not giving it a chance to shine.
And I'm in Ty's corner. I want him to succeed. I think he's great. I agree, Craig. They need to turn him into a bad guy.
Who, Ty Dillinger? Actually, yeah, I agree with you. He's like, that's how it started. He started off as a pretty good bad guy.
Now, I didn't notice I think after the match, the Authors of Pain versus Slater and Rhino, I think I was making myself some dinner. Pasta with mushrooms and broccoli. It was very good.
Oh, nice.
I guess the Authors of Pain split from Paul Ellering. Is that what happened?
Yep.
I missed that.
Yeah, so pretty much they go down, they beat up Rhino and Heath Slater. They're walking up, and then as they're walking up, they stop. They turn and give him like the double fist and tell him to stay behind, and they walk by themselves.
Huh.
Which was shocking to me. But then I was thinking about it today, and I think I have an idea as to why.
I don't think Paul Ellering has the... How do you say it? He doesn't look like he should be on primetime television. Sorry. I mean, as a guy who's getting older myself, it's tough to say. But, I mean, he does. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I see where you're coming from, and I can agree with you. But I think just most of my, kind of like you say he's getting up there in age, I think also he just can't do the travel schedule. of having to go from different city every week to every week to
Sure.
every week. The cool thing about NXT is NXT is mainly filmed in one place. They go on tours, but
And
tours,
the tapings are like a month's worth of taping in one night.
exactly. So the thing about Izzo, it's good for him. It's good for his health. He doesn't have to worry that much. And the thing about Izzo, he's a good wrestling mind, so he could possibly go back to NXT and manage another group, help them come up and whatnot. So I think he's better utilized there.
This is a bit hypocritical on myself. I acknowledge that, and I don't have any way to explain it. But I like the Authors of Pain better when they're wearing that scary mask.
Oh, okay. Why?
I just think it looks cool. I think a lot of people think it looks really silly and stupid, and maybe you're right. I just like it.
I will say this, though. One thing I do like about the Authors of Pain, I love the fact they don't wear their body armor when they get in the ring. Like, when they get in the ring, they take off the body armor, and then they're just wearing their tank tops, and they wrestle in that. That I like a lot more, because to this day, I look at Roman Reigns like, why is he allowed to wear this? This isn't fair.
You know, it's funny.
This makes no damn sense.
I told this story before our show on Sunday night. Junior, you didn't hear this. Daniel, I don't think you were here for this either. I'm going to tell you guys. So we're watching WrestleMania, and one of the gals, fucking in love with Roman Reigns. Oh, he's so gorgeous. Blah, 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 blah. And then she's talking about his body, his gear, his shirt, like you say, and she says, why is he wearing that? It's like body like bulletproof armor. And I am a jerk. I think we all know this. And I said to her, that's okay. I can still shoot him in the face.
Ooh.
And she said, can we not talk about shooting people in the face tonight, please? And then I remembered that her one of our friends who were there was a cop, and 10 years ago he was shot in the face.
Oh,
and it was a horrible thing that their family went through. He was hosting, actually. He was one of the hosts.
double K.
And I just went, oh, yeah. And I don't even think I said I'm sorry. I just wanted to move the fucking conversation.
Oh, my God.
It happens. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. But it was, listen, if you don't have someone in the room who's been shot in the face, it's a really funny thing to say about Roman Reigns.
There, okay, maybe I'll give you that. Maybe that's the reason why he wears it, because he knows the fans hate him.
All right. Moving on. Oh, Roman Reigns. Talking about conspiracy theories? What the fuck was he talking about?
He was saying that, and then I show up today if this man don't like me. In fact, he's giving me another match with Brock Lesnar in a steel cage he didn't even tell me about. I'm like, so he gave you another opportunity to redeem yourself and win the belt?
Yeah, listen, motherfucker.
Roman.
You lost. He didn't cheat.
Nope.
You lost.
Yep.
And you bled a lot.
You really did. It was kind of disgusting.
I liked it a lot.
Oh, jeez.
I like the blood.
So, but then after this, my favorite moment shows up. Samoa Joe returns.
Samoa Joe returns.
Oh, and he cuts a brilliant promo on Roman Reigns. Talk about how he lied to us, how he lied to himself, how he oversold himself. But say, no, but don't worry though, I'm here. And after you get done losing to Brock Lesnar again, you're gonna face me. I'm gonna put you to sleep. And I was like, damn, Joe, you have been missed. You will sell a promo.
The thing is, that seems like a promo that's so easy to give because he's just laying everything out how it happened.
Yeah, true.
But he delivered it very, very well. It's one of the best that I've ever seen him do.
And I gotta be honest though, like there's all these guys who go against Brock Lesnar, and honestly, every time someone gets to face Brock Lesnar, I'm like, AJ Styles, I love you, AJ, best wrestler in the world, probably gonna lose. It's like, and then when like say it was Randy Orton, like Randy Orton, he's this, and this, like, oh, okay, Randy Orton, RKO is great and everything, but you're gonna lose against Brock Lesnar. One of the few people who sold me on his chance to actually beat Brock Lesnar, aside from Braun Strowman because he's just huge and big, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Like, he sold that. And the fact that I love the way he treated Brock Lesnar, too. How he got in his face. It was like, I remember one of the promos was like, Brock Lesnar trying to look away from him. He's like, boy, you look at me when I'm talking to you. I was like, holy shit. Joe believes what he's saying. He really believes it. Samoa Joe cuts great promo, and he makes me believe he can beat people.
And how many matches did they have? Was it one or was it two?
Shoot, I can't remember. So I think there was the one, but I think they also competed like at a triple threat or four-way match at one point, too.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a four-way match, too.
And I'll give it up to Brock, too. I mean, Brock really made Joe look like $1 million when they fought.
Yeah.
Well, after that, we get Titus Worldwide against Matt Hardy and his new buddy Bray Wyatt.
I hate that. Sorry.
Yeah. But some people like it, right?
Who likes it?
But don't people react to the
The worldwide.
Well, maybe it's more the barking.
Yeah. Like, oh, the yeah, that. I think the people do like the barking more. Yeah. So then after that, we get a match between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus Titus Worldwide, which is now becoming an official tag team because they're marrying Magic Trunks now. So I guess he's no longer just managing Apollo Crews.
Why were people? Oh, I'm getting back to the chat. I missed the last few minutes, and people are pointing out.
Oh man,
how shitty I was at the party.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing we missed, we didn't go over. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go up to Kurt Angle.
Oh.
They're looking for a job. Talk about fucking burn.
Yeah.
I was alone at the house, and I saw this, and when Kurt said... First of all, Kurt's delivery was poor. I believe TNA is hiring. This is how you... Let me tell you about acting, Kurt. First you say, my roster's full. Okay, you emphasize the my, so that when you go to the next line... My roster's full, but TNA's hiring. That's how you do acting.
You're what?
Welcome. That's Kevin Kittredge's master class of acting for you, right there. I'm getting tired of these master classes for everything on YouTube.
There are R.L. Stein is doing one now for children's writing, which is like, really? R.L. Stein? Okay. But I actually love that segment. I was cracking when I saw this.
Holy shit, dude. TNA is hiring.
Here's the things I love about this segment. One, I love how Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are there, like, hat in hand. How he's like, yes, sir, we need this opportunity, sir.
Oh, it was
we got
great.
some problems. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. I'm cracking up. This is hilarious. And then when he delivers that line, it's like, but I hear TNA is hiring. I'm like, oh, God. All right, Kurt. You're doing good. You're doing the Lord's work right now. I was totally on board with that. I was dying laughing. I was like, well played. This light just keeps getting better for me.
So Sami and Kevin have to fight each other for their job. There's one slot as a job left. And what did they say? They were, because each of them were like,
so Kevin
I need this job too. I need that. Yeah, but I'm married. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, but I got a kid. I got kids.
Yeah, he's like, I have a family.
I have a family.
Yeah, and
that's
then
right.
Sami Zayn was like, I need a job. I need to live. And then like they're going back and forth. And then Kevin's like, it was like, Kurt, father to father, I need this. And it was like,
yes.
all right.
And so they no contest. They both get counted out. They beat each other up too much.
I kind of gotta say I like it though. Like they keep throwing us these angles where we think Kevin and Sam are eventually going to break up, and they're going to get like that separation right there. And they're like, we're going to make you face each other, and you guys will mess up. But they're like, no, we're going to come in with a plan like by ourselves. It's like we're just going to get counted out. I was like, fuck, I did not see that coming. That's kind of smart. Like, all right,
I think
he can deal with their shenanigans.
Now that there's a new SmackDown manager in Paige, maybe these guys have a better chance to go pitch themselves to her.
Paige, maybe. Yeah. And then the cool thing about this with the Superstar shakeup, I mean, let's be honest, the biggest shakeup that could happen next week, and we'll do our predictions later, Kurt may not have to be the commissioner anymore, the general manager.
I don't even know what to think. I'm very confused.
He literally just got done beating up Triple H, so I mean, you can't beat up your boss and be like expect to have a job next week.
We see Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins walking backstage, and they come across Jeff. Mm-hmm. And Bray Wyatt comes out, addresses Brother Nero. Brother Nero talks normal and then says, obsolete, very strangely, and then he'll say, delete, and then he'll say, okay, whatever, all right.
Reborn!
And then when the good guy tag team walks away, no, it's just when Bray and Matt walk away, mm-hmm. Seth and Finn look at Jeff like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened here?
And Jeff's like, what? It's family stuff. And he keeps going. I'm just like, I kind of like it. Let me ask you this. Do you want to see Brother Nero show up at some point, or do you want to stay with Jeff Hardy?
I think it'd be fun. I think it should happen. I think people are waiting for it to happen at some point.
I agree. Like Brother Nero's cool. It's a fresh like take on it. It's a fresh character, and I want to see him. I want to see him show up in WWE. I want Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy to get their time to shine, but I want to see Brother Nero show up at some point.
Yeah. How does this match? The match just ends with a curb stomp on The Miz.
So it's kind of crazy. So this match, it's a good match and whatnot. But if you've ever been to a WWE house show, it's kind of a WWE house show match. So it ends with them winning. I
think what I was thinking was, okay, we'll have this tag match. And then we have to have. I mean, it's the WrestleMania after. It's the Raw after WrestleMania. I was expecting one final big knockout punch at the end.
Yeah,
and there wasn't one.
No, it was kind of finished like lackluster because like Seth Rollins hits the curb stop, but then after that they go and hit. So then at that they win, but then at this point I think it's Curtis Axel's in the ring, and Finn Balor goes up and does the coup de grace on him, and then Jeff Hardy does a swanton bomb, and then Seth Rollins does the curb stop. The crowd's chanting one more time, so they kind of roll him over to the other ring post, and they all do the moves again, and then they stay in the ring. I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, that's cool. But, just, I don't know, it kind of felt lackluster to me.
If it was me, and it's not often I straight up tell WWE how to book the shows, but if it was me, I would have found a way to put Lashley in the last spot.
I agree. Like that's where I thought he would show up. I thought he would show up in the last spot, start a feud with somebody, make a bigger impact. The fact he just kind of showed up and beat up Elias was kind of like, look, I know Elias is over. Elias is money right now, but Elias needs a chance. But we just can't have him get beat up every week. And Bobby Lashley should come in with a big storyline.
Welcome back, Prime Time. It has been a couple of weeks, I think, since we've seen you. Jessica, we're going to move on to SmackDown, which Jessica says was so boring.
Really, Jessica? Really? I gotta say, I'm surprised. I actually really like SmackDown tonight. Like, I was watching it, I was like, this is actually kind of a fun SmackDown. I like some of the angles that are coming out of here.
Tell you what, I've never seen Wet Ham 90. Welcome. I haven't seen you before. I like your first comment that I've seen. He says, I'm assuming he, Wet Ham says, I'm sick of Balor smiling like Mickey Mouse on cocaine. Shit pisses me off. Get mad.
No, I agree. I'm upset that.
Craig doesn't like it.
2 months ago, Finn Balor had this moment where something happened, he lost, and they stayed on him, and he was no longer smiling. And it was like, wait, is Finn Balor going to like turn heel? I was like, we're going to get some like Prince Devitt type stuff happening, everything like that. And then we came back next week, he was back to smiling again. And I'm like, I was kind of disappointed.
Why did they let Rollins use the curb stomp again? I don't know. Probably because the knee wasn't working.
Oh, well, yeah.
What do you call it? The V trigger?
Yeah, something like that. It was just weird. Like, it was hard to sell. Like, it was hard to get a good shot on it, like, when he did it, and it didn't look as impactful as a curb stop.
Because that's Omega's, right, Junior? Isn't that Omega's finisher? What's Omega's finisher?
Omega's finisher is the one in Winged Angel.
Somebody uses the V trigger, right?
Yeah. Who uses...
Is Okada? No, Okada uses the Rainmaker.
No,
you guys know. Somebody here knows... Who that knee belongs to?
Yeah, there's a Japanese wrestler who does do that though. Who people like he kind of stole it from.
Maybe Omega just uses it as a setup.
Let me ask you this though: going back to like Finn Balor, him smiling too much. How would you feel? Because right now he's not really doing anything. He doesn't have a belt. He's just showing them putting on good matches. What do you think they can do to improve like Finn Balor's like standing in the company? Like, do you think maybe they turn him heel, or what do you think?
I don't think they should turn him heel, but I would like to. I straight up agree with get him mad, make him. Yeah, Omega does use the V trigger. That's right. It was called the ripcord. Yeah, I want to see badass, angry. I mean, even when he lost the Universal title, he was, which was the right. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Just
for him. I mean, if you really are going to be out forever, he had a good attitude to do it. But I want to see him angry. Okay, yeah.
Him get angry with him and get over? Or help him push more?
Yes. I think so. That's my theory.
All right, on to SmackDown. So SmackDown opens up. It opens up with Shade coming out to some great Shadow back chants. Everyone's going crazy for him. He thanks the audience.
It opened up with Shane?
Yeah, opened up with Shade.
I was driving here.
No worries. So he thanks the audience and thanks them for like making WrestleMania weekend great. The audience applauds. They're all happy to be there. And he announced that with Daniel Bryan coming back as an in-ring performer, he has to step down as a general manager. So given that, they now have a new general manager, and that's when Paige comes out. Paige comes out, thanks the crowd, thanks Shane for the opportunity. She's excited about her new role. We kind of like talked about this a moment ago. And then she starts talking about the match for that night. And she says, well, you know what? We have Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan hasn't been on a television match in 3 years. So tonight we'll have Daniel Bryan versus, and at first the audience starts chanting, Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. And she's like, well, we could also maybe have him face, and then the very next chant is AJ Styles, AJ Styles, AJ Styles, and she makes the match. So tonight for the main event, we have Gail Bryan versus AJ Styles in the main event. Crowd goes crazy, excited, and her and Shane leave and go to the back.
I like Paige. I like her a lot. I wish her the best. I don't know if this is the right role for her.
How come?
It's just weird. I don't like wrestlers as general managers.
Really? So you didn't like Daniel Bryan as a general manager?
No, but he was in the same position. It's like, all right, he wants to fucking leave.
Okay.
How does WWE make him not leave? Just be on TV. Look at all this money you can make. Just be on TV, please.
How'd you feel about Mick Foley and Kurt Angle?
I don't care for Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Mick back in the day was very funny.
Stone Cold?
Austin was stupid as the manager.
So you're a Teddy Long kind of guy.
All right, playa.
We're going to have a tag team match.
You're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker.
So let me ask you this then. Who is, in your opinion, who's made a great general manager?
Who's made a great general manager? Mike Adamle.
Wait, what?
I was surprised I remembered his name. Gosh, that's a good question. I don't know. I can't think of a great general manager for Raw or SmackDown.
Honestly, for me, I like when the general managers are heels. So for me, I did like Eric Bischoff as the manager for a while there, because it was just entertaining to have the heel as a general manager. So that I didn't mind. I did kind of like that.
I think maybe, why do we need a general manager?
Who makes the matches there?
I mean, it could happen. You know, they could be decided in a boardroom somewhere where we don't see it on television.
Oh, so what you want? What was we used to have the?
I don't need the anonymous general manager.
The anonymous general manager, who was actually the whole time Hornswoggle.
That's right,
the great Hornswoggle.
Okay, Eric Bischoff played that role very well.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, the only time I can think of, like, again, I agree with you, because like when I came into an Attitude Era, I came into the McMahon Helmsley era, and they were playing the general manager for a while there.
It's funny because, I mean, you say, how would they make the matches then? I mean, it's you've been trained wrong. There doesn't have to be a manager to come out and say, we're going to have some matches, and I don't like this guy, so he's going to be in this match, and I do like this guy. Good for him, title opportunity. I think you can start off with either a wrestler doing a promo or some kind of wrestling match. Those are cool sometimes.
I guess, but it just seems weird without the general manager now. Because even on NXT, William Regal does a great job as general manager. Oh, and William Regal was a general manager for a while for Raw. That was a good time as well.
And he is the man on NXT as well.
Yeah, and he had some great matches with Chris Jericho when he was a general manager. Remember the whole piss in the teacup incident?
Yes. Stephanie McMahon was not a great GM. Jessica, who invited you in here? How could you say such a thing? Okay, that wasn't nice. If we haven't met yet, I'm a big jerk. I apologize.
Welcome, Jessica.
Please
Good
keep
to have
watching.
You. Okay, so then after that, we go to the next match, which I believe was the New Day versus the Usos for the number one contendership for the tag team belts, and the Usos won.
So the Bludgeon Brothers versus Usos, is that at Royal Rumble as well, or we don't know? Or maybe they are actually making matches for Backlash, apparently. So is it Backlash or Royal Rumble? Okay, Junior says it's at Backlash. I believe him.
Which was okay. The Usos had a good match. It was fun. I mean, we've seen it a couple times. A lot of times now. I guess, honestly, like, it was cool, but I think maybe they could have like cut a promo instead. Instead of actually doing this match, you could have maybe give the Usos a promo time, because they're really good at promos right now. And honestly, you don't really need this match because they were the ones who lost the belts, so they should probably just get the number one contendership regardless. So they should just come out and cut a promo and maybe talk about how they felt to lose to the Bludgeon Brothers, talk about how maybe felt from being dominated, kind of get squashed away, and what they're going to do to get like their mojo back, to get their steam back and whatnot. So I felt that would probably be a better use of their time, because this match was kind of like, it was kind of lackluster. And we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago, about how the New Day are kind of doing the same old shtick and how they're starting to get played out. The New Day needs something to do, because they are starting to get boring now.
It's funny because I guess they were interviewed over WrestleMania weekend about breaking up, and they were like, who's saying this we should break up? These people don't like fun. I'm sorry, I like fun. but I want you to break up.
Oh,
Sorry.
double K.
I'm sorry.
I don't want them to break up, but I think they need to do something else to go on. So maybe we'll get lucky. They'll get moved to Raw, and then we'll have some other tag teams to contend with.
You know, before we go into Naomi versus Natalya, because Naomi was, they were talking about the Women's Battle Royal. And
With
Natalya,
her trophy that looks like a giant uterus.
Yes. And something we didn't go over, and it's been reported a lot online, to the point where I feel comfortable sharing this as near fact. But before WrestleMania, Alicia Fox got into some sort of verbal altercation with Ronda Rousey's husband, where she was like yelling at him and shit. And when it was done, they told Alicia, they either said, they told her, hey, you don't have to come to Raw tomorrow. Or was it, I think it was WrestleMania, actually. You don't have to come backstage for WrestleMania. You don't have to come. But they definitely told her not to come to Raw.
Whoa, for real?
Which, I mean, I don't know what could have happened. There is video where he's just like being nice. And I guess everybody around said he was really respectful to everybody. And they were surprised that Alicia was so angry. But unwise by Alicia Fox to go against the husband of the person they're clearly
favoring right now.
Yes.
The new face of the
Jessica, I am Kevin. I apologize. I am Kevin. This is Johnny.
Johnny. Kevin. 4.
I mean, but we both agree that Stephanie McMahon was a terrible GM, right?
At what point? She was a good heel GM. Like, there was that time when her and Triple H were running Raw and SmackDown, they were just making matches willy-nilly. And it was terrible, but it led to a lot of good storytelling for that time. Because it put some wrestlers in bad predictions. I mean, that was just fun.
All right.
I just talked about that moment.
You and Jessica can go start a club.
Well, okay, all right. We like GMs. We like GMs.
Here's my favorite part of SmackDown, which, again, I didn't see much of, but I made a point to find this afterwards. Renee Young interviews Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, this is amazing.
He says he's sorry. Maybe he got too emotional. And again, this is where some acting could have helped Mr. Nakamura, because during the whole time, the lead up, he was like, "Oh, AJ, you're too emotional." And so when he said it, he says, "Maybe I've been too emotional," but he meant to say, "Maybe I've been too emotional," to contrast him versus AJ over the past several weeks. Anyway, and Renee's like, "Yeah, I don't. Does she say disingenuous? I think she says.
Yeah, she said that came up very disingenuously, and he did. He was, because his facial expression was like, maybe I've been too emotional. I was caught up in the moment. And it's like, this is
he
hilarious.
Apologized, and he gave it a little wink too.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, "Hey, I think you're being disingenuous." He's like, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English."
Exactly. It's like, sorry,
phenomenal.
Don't speak English. And then like walks off, and it's just like, I agree, phenomenal. It was awesome. It's like, Shinsuke's a great heel. I have never seen Shinsuke heel before, and I'm kind of loving it right now.
Yeah, me too. Charlotte came out.
This is my favorite moment of the night. This is why I'm surprised Jessica said this was boring, because I actually really like this moment really well. So Charlotte comes out. She starts speaking about winning the championship, winning against Asuka, how iron sharpens iron, about how they pushed themselves and left everything out of the ring. She starts to thank Asuka, thank the fans, and people are clapping. They're saying that they're proud of her and everything like that. And then she begins to talk about who she wants to face next. And at that moment, we get the SmackDown main roster debut of the iconic duo coming out, which is kind of awesome.
Is that a thing they do?
Oh, yeah, they come out and do, their whole, thing, and then they'll click like pinkies and, walk down together.
All right, because they pinky swear because they're best friends.
Yeah, they are best friends. They're so cool.
All right. You get 10 brunettes in a lineup with me, and I can't name which ones they are.
Aww.
But they beat the shit out of Charlotte.
Oh, they really beat the shit out of her. So they come out, they cut a great promo, talk about making fun of her, because they do their whole Mean Girl stick, and they do their Mean Girl stick very well to make fun of her for who she was thinking. She's like, is she think the Uber driver who drove her there? And then she's taking the air. And they do this all in their Australian accents, which makes it that much more hilarious. And then when they're getting to the ring, by the way, they are being chanted heavily. The crowd is chanting NXT, and they're also chanting Iconic, because these girls are just over. And then at that point, as you said, they begin to beat the crap out of Charlotte. And when they beat the crap out of her, they give her a beat down. Like, they take her outside the ring, they toss her across the table, toss her back across the table, throw her against the railing where she, like, pops off and everything like that. Then they power bomb her onto the mat, and you're just like, this is an epic beat down. Then they throw her into the ring, and they get her in the ring, and then they do their polos. So Billie Kay and Peyton Royce do their whole, like, iconic pose and everything like that. I'm like, the refs are coming out, they begin to walk out, and then, as they begin to walk out, this is when magic happens. The music hits, FABOLOUS, and here she comes. She's running down to the ring. She gets in the ring, gives to the ref the briefcase. She's cashing in finally. And then the ref is confused at first, was cracking me up. He's like, huh, you want to do what? Wait, are you sure? She's like, yes, I'm cashing in. Gives her the briefcase. Carmella goes, gets the kick on Charlotte, gets the 1, 2, 3 super easily, and now Carmella is our new SmackDown Women's Champion.
And initially, for me, I would initially think to myself, I would fall into Mark mode here sometimes, because I would go to myself, what? She just had this epic match with Asuka, and then she loses like that. But I think that's a good. Listen, Carmella had what? 2 more months with this. When was Money in the Bank? Like June?
It's June.
Something's gonna have to happen with that shit.
It had to happen.
So,
and they've been teasing it for the longest time. We thought like everyone was debating what was going to happen at WrestleMania. Happens on SmackDown. It's a great way to start, like you would say, start the season to end the previous season. And dude, then her celebration went on for about 5 minutes. Usually it's like you win the belt and they all will run out or like blah, blah, go to the top. No, she danced around the ring. She stepped in the ring. She danced around Charlotte, stepped over Charlotte, then got out the ring, running up and down, saying everything. She did this for so long, Charlotte was able to wake up. And Charlotte's just looking at her, smiling like, you don't deserve it. And Carmella's like, don't deserve it, but I got it, though. And it's like, all right, I'm kind of loving Carmella right now. She's really rubbing this in. And so she's going to get her just desserts at the end. But, like, right now, I got to say, like, I was happy that happened. I was shocked. I was cheering for her. And I'm happy she got it.
They say, how many? I think at the Greatest Royal Rumble, there's like, 7 title matches? Some shit like that? So I would imagine that'll be one of them.
Every belt's on the line. Every belt.
Yes.
So both women's belts, the Intercontinental, the U.S., both tag teams, and then the
pardon me.
Bless you. So wait, there's 8 belts though. So which one's not being defended? So we have both main titles:
World, Intercontinental, U.S.,
tag, women's.
6. Women's. Yeah.
That's 8 belts. What's not being defended? Maybe it's all 8.
Maybe it's all 8. Yeah. They're really trying to make that a thing.
They really are, yeah.
And it's working so far.
Okay, so then
speaking of titles, holy cow. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Rusev. It's a good thing I wasn't watching this when I was driving, because it's not a good idea to sleep while driving.
Yep. You could have killed somebody.
I find these fellows very boring.
It really is.
Except for Rusev, who did not win.
No. It was a terrible match. So they get in there. Rusev comes out last. The crowd's going crazy. He gets in the ring, starts going to work. He tosses both guys out. Crowd's going crazy. Then he gets to a moment where he's in there with Bobby Roode by himself. Gives him the macho kick. They're going back and forth. He puts him into, was it the Accolade? He puts him to the Accolade. And then all of a sudden, Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, kicks Rusev, knocks him out of the ring, beats up Bobby Roode, hits Star KO. And he wins. And lo and behold, this young upstart, Randy Orton, is getting an opportunity at the U.S. Championship. Well, happy for him. This will be his first belt, I guess.
Backlash or Rumble?
Backlash, I believe.
Okay.
Which I'm not really excited for. Like, I will say this, though. As, like, Jinder is a decent heel. Like, even as he was sitting out there, he had a carpet, he had a throne he was sitting on. He looked like crazily. He looked like a villain. It was like awesome. All he needed was like a little cat to be patting, like, oh yes, Jinder. But honestly, I would have rather have Rusev have won. Rusev should have won. We would have got a face versus heel, and then we could have had a good feud going for the next couple of weeks. And the cool thing about it is that Rusev has 8 in English. Jinder has one of the Singh brothers. This could have been a fun feud we could have leading up maybe to the Rumble. So I'm disappointed. I'm like, Randy Orton's a great wrestler, but someone else should have got this opportunity. I'm not looking forward to this match.
Vince has got to come around on Rusev sooner than later, right?
So let me ask you this, because we talked about this earlier with Gail Bryan. Rusev, is the chant over or is Rusev over?
Oh, Rusev is over.
Rusev is over? What makes you say Rusev is over?
Because when he smiles. Because I love him when he smiles.
It warms your heart.
He does.
It warms your heart.
Did he smile when he came out?
He did.
Today?
I don't know if he smiled, but he did come out. He was doing the Rusev Day.
Okay, that's all I
Rusev
need.
Day.
That's all I need. Him doing the chant. I love it.
Honestly, I agree with you. Rusev is over for me, and the way I know Rusev is over is because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, he's genuinely really funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's two moments that sticks out to me. Is one when I can't remember who he was feuding with, but someone talked about how glorious they looked or whatever. He was like, "What are you talking about? How good you look? I should be doing this. I'm handsome Rusev." And it was like, what? What? And he was just getting it over like he is handsome Rusev. And the second moment is during the Christmas special, the New Day is dressed backstage. They're coming out like their elf costumes, everything like that. Rusev comes up dressed as Santa Claus with Aiden English dressed up as elf or whatever. And then he gets over there and is like, "We're going to beat you tonight." And they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Psst." Pulls down the beard. "It's me, Rusev." And I'm like, what? Huh? This dude has comedic timing. He's brilliant. So honestly, Rusev is over in my book, and I hope he gets an opportunity soon. I hope Vince wakes up to how great this guy actually is.
Ryan, welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I want to go to, I saw, oh shit, Matt brings up a point. The women's belts can't, I don't know if that's true. He says the women's belts can't be defended in Saudi Arabia because it's Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
But didn't they, I thought they did wrestle recently in Saudi Arabia. Or
they did.
That was Abu Dhabi. Huh.
Yeah, and when they wrestled, they had to wrestle. Remember they had to make the special gear for them?
I remember that, yeah.
Which was disappointing, but... Because, I mean, it wasn't disappointing in the aspect like, oh, I want to see these girls half naked. No, it was disappointing in the aspect. It was like, they should be able to do what they want to do with their bodies. If the man could come out dressed in jocks, women should be able to do the same thing. But, I mean, one step forward is a step forward. So progress is being made.
It is very interesting, though. It's very interesting, this whole Saudi Arabia thing.
You know who I would love to see as general manager?
Who's that?
If this worked out, because he'll have, like, free time now, Paul Heyman. I want Paul Heyman on
You know what's funny is because they did that with SmackDown, 10, 15 years ago. And not only was he the general manager on TV?
And he was writing backstage.
But he was legitimately, like, doing the work.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And Vince just hated him because he was ECW. I don't know if you ever heard Paulie do interviews about those times, but he's like, Vince is still fighting me. He won. He won, and he still considers me the enemy. And
he does. And he was upset because I remember at the time he gave him SmackDown, he gave him the B show, but he was able to make that the A show because they just had so many good storylines going on. Honestly, I get kind of angry sometimes with the way they treat SmackDown because when SmackDown restarted SmackDown Live, they were doing better storylines than Raw, but then at some point they kind of shifted their writers over, I guess, to Raw. And I was like, but why? Why are you downplaying SmackDown? But, Raw is supposed to be the A show.
I mean, we've got... we'll see how things turn out after the draft next week. It's going to say a lot. Superstar shake
it up. I wrote a Sasha Banks. Okay, then what's our next match after that? So I agree with Jess. That was a predictable, boring match.
Then we went. Speaking of predictable, okay, it was AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, unannounced on SmackDown. We knew that this wasn't going to be not only not a clean finish, but we all knew Shinsuke was coming out.
Oh, of course. We all knew Shinsuke was coming out.
And he did. And he got them disqualified.
He gave Daniel a knee to the back of the head, knocking him out of the ring. And then he went and gave AJ a low blow.
About 7 low blows.
Yes, low blow. Low blow. And I like the way Shinsuke gives a low blow because usually it's like the low blow them stand there. He low blows you then tosses you over at the same time, which is kind of hilarious. And gives him a nice Kinshasa. And then we wrap up SmackDown. How are you feeling about Shinsuke's heel so far?
I think it's a great start. I look forward to more evil Shinsuke Nakamura. I think maybe... Oh, look at that. He looks so evil.
He does. He's just wearing it. He's doing a great job right now.
I think I would like to see a triple threat with these guys. I want to see it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So getting into it, because now that we're done talking about SmackDown, you grab a great point. Seeing a triple threat, but will we get to see a triple threat? So let's talk about maybe Daniel Bryan first. Where do you think Daniel Bryan is going? Do you think he's going to remain on SmackDown, or do you think they might move him to Raw?
Yeah, that's the thing is, now that Daniel Bryan's back, I don't want anybody to... I want Kevin Owens still on SmackDown and Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, AJ. I want all these guys to stay.
I got to say, I want Daniel Bryan to stay on SmackDown for 2 reasons. One, AJ Styles is there, and I believe there's a lot of talent there that you could have some fun with, have some great matches. But 2... it's also the fact that when we watch SmackDown, you don't have to wrestle every week. Like, Shinsuke doesn't wrestle every week. AJ Styles doesn't wrestle every week. It kind of gives those wrestlers' bodies like a break. I think it's a good way to kind of ease Daniel Bryan back into the company so we can kind of let him get back adjusted, get that ring rust off and everything like that, and not have to put him as much risk.
Yeah. I guess I haven't really noticed that. I haven't noticed that. I mean, isn't it the same on Raw, though? Don't people do interviews and not wrestle every week on Raw?
Generally, not sometimes, but a lot of times on Raw, cats wrestle week in, week out because it's a 3-hour show. Like Seth Rollins has been doing a stints where he's wrestled week in, week out, week in, week out, and he might get like one night off. Roman will do like every night and maybe get like one night off here and there. This last week, I mean, after WrestleMania, Roman didn't wrestle, but generally those guys will wrestle more shows, I think. And then with SmackDown, it's like every so often. Like AJ doesn't wrestle every night on SmackDown. There's a lot of times where he's doing commentary or he's there, but he doesn't have to wrestle every single night.
Derek Watson was wondering if we think that Dean Ambrose is going to return on SmackDown or where he's going to show up. You know, I guess Dean is so far out from being healed that they pulled him from his WrestleMania appearances.
Yeah,
his signings.
I don't think Dean's coming back to like August.
You think so? Is that what you're hearing?
Because they talked about that injury, and the injury happened back in January. I remember they said it was like 9 months to heal. I just did the math. I was like, that's like August, September. So it's going to be a while before we see Dean. And it makes sense. Who will?
Big Cat.
Did
they announce that? First of all, Big Cass is coming back. He does not deserve that level of excitement.
Double K. Why Double K? Why do you hate Big Cass?
WWE trademark his real name.
What's Big Cass's real name again?
Colin Cassidy.
Colin Cassidy. That's right, because we played it on the video game. Okay. Junior thinks that Cass will be part of the Superstar shakeup. Sure,
of course.
I mean, he's not good though, right?
Here's the thing: you gotta remember, Vince loves him. He's big.
Does Vince love him?
Vince loves anybody big. If you're big and tall, Vince will love you. Your boy, what you call it, the lone wolf, that's the reason why he's still employed.
Gosh.
And Big Cass, like, I feel bad for Big Cass. Like, I think honestly, like, we'll talk about it when we have like more time. But that feud he had with Enzo Amore could have been a lot better done.
Well, and listen, okay, I will feel bad for him in terms of he got injured, he lost his girlfriend.
He lost his girlfriend to Elias.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's dating Elias now backstage.
Carmella?
Yeah.
Elias can do better than Carmella.
What are you talking about? She wants to walk with Elias. And other stuff, too.
Since we've announced it on our About Tonight's show, we should talk about who's next, what's next for the Bullet Club. I have not seen tonight's Being the Elite. Junior, you didn't see it yet either, right? Did you? It's quite good. Episode 100, the finale. That's what it's titled anyway. It's titled either the final or the finale. I'm very much looking forward to it. Obviously, at the Ring of Honor show, the Young Bucks they meant to super kick Cody. They super kick Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm. Cody goes and gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Kenny wakes up. The Young Bucks try to apologize, but he pushes them away, walks out of the ring, and after that, we see that not everything is okay with the Bullet Club.
Bullet Club is not fine. What's that?
They go to his dressing room.
Okay, well, I don't want any spoilers about Being the Elite, but I think we should all check it out. Being the Elite.
So, prediction: what do you think is the future of the Bullet Club now?
I think they're playing the long game. I think they're doing a great story, and I don't think it's anywhere near. It's maybe halfway being done.
I agree with you, because I think the cool thing about it is we got to remember that big pay-per-view All In is coming up. That show they're doing, and I think honestly,
that's in September, right?
Mm-hmm.
September in Chicago.
It's September in Chicago. Everybody, if you cross your fingers, you just hope real loud and you clap at the same time. CM Punk might return. Probably not though. But
did we talk about 3 days ago? Man, we just saw each other on Sunday. The video with Batista and CM Punk. Did we talk about that?
Oh yeah, you told me about it. Actually,
did we do it on the air?
Did we? No, I don't think you did. 'Cause you showed me the video.
Oh, it was great. They were both at the Chicago Comic-Con or whatever the fuck they called it.
C2E2.
And CM Punk sitting there eating a salad, and Batista's massaging his shoulders, and Punk's like, "Why are there chickpeas in my salad? Who put chickpeas in my salad?" And he looks accusingly at Batista, and he's like, "Sorry, sir, I'm so sorry." Who put Oh, so wonderful. It's good stuff. I miss that guy.
I do. I miss both of them. They're so good. But let me ask you this though. So, going back to the All In show, I think we'll probably get the culmination of these storylines at that All In show. How do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to actually sell out that arena?
Yes.
How come?
Hotels are in the area already booked.
All the hotels in the area are already booked.
Oh,
Is it all
seriously?
the hotels? Definitely the first hotel, the wrestling show aligned hotel, like sold out like right away.
And they haven't even started selling tickets yet, have they? Junior, are you going?
It's in Chicago. It's,
I wish.
but
So,
I have faith in those guys, and I really want them to do well.
okay, so future of the Bullet Club. How do you think the storyline's going to end?
Well, Cody has to lose. Cody has to get booted out eventually.
This is true. This is true.
What are the contracts for Omega and the Young Bucks? January. So we got
After WrestleMania.
8 more months. They're under contract. Man, they could come. They could be the next wave.
Do you think they want to come, though?
No, but I want them to.
I don't want them to come. It's kind of weird. I agree with you. I love the Bullet Club. I love what they're doing right now. And I kind of feel if they come, they're going to be creatively stifled. And I don't think they'll be able to do the things they're doing on their own. And I think this is part of the reason why they're so good is because they give us an alternative to the WWE.
You're right, but I think, the Young Bucks don't want to wrestle forever. And WWE has a lot of money. And I think they would do... I don't know. I don't know financially. I mean, they say that they're probably making a shit ton of money right now.
And if they sell out this arena and this goes over well, what's to stop them from doing it again?
Well, that's...
I'm not saying they do it every month, but I'm saying a once-a-year event where they're doing all their
Okay,
own
once a
pay-per-view.
year, yes. I think once a year they could
a
definitely
once-a-year event where they're putting on their own like show and everything like that. And the thing about it is that they're going to get like revenue from the hotel sales, they're going to get revenue from the selling out the arena, from advertising, all these things, and that's money goes directly into their pocket. And if they were doing this with WWE, that's all going to Vince. Like the thing about this is that if they do this on their own, they're controlling their own destiny. It's like they do a comic book version of this. It's kind of like their Image Comics back when Image like left DC and Marvel, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, those guys. It went more independent. They have the potential to do something that we haven't seen done in wrestling is make their own destiny.
You're right. No, you're right. I just want to see them every week on TV. I mean, I know that's selfish of me.
I feel you. Like I love seeing these guys. I love what they're doing, but part of me, I just love seeing them doing it on their own. Like I would hate to see them because honestly, like we talked about this earlier, like Carl Anderson and Luke Owens, the Good Brothers. I feel they're being underutilized in WWE. They're really great storytellers. They have some great ring ability, and I feel they're being underutilized right now. And
I would agree, but financially they're very comfortable.
I know, but again, there's a lot of guys being underutilized in WWE right now. Finn Balor is freaking amazing. Doesn't really have a title shot coming up anytime soon. Just lingering around having great matches with Seth Rollins in week after week. He's just kind of there. Like, the guys who Vince likes have belts. They're getting pushes. They're getting put to the limelight, everything like that. And some of them, like Braun Strowman, totally worth it. They've totally earned where they're being at right now. But there's a lot of guys who just aren't being utilized.
All right. Well, I think we've had a good discussion on Raw and SmackDown.
Want to talk about NXT really quickly?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we had the NXT TakeOver. We had a lot of matches, and so they started off with the ladder match. And Junior, do we have any of the assets for that? Okay, no worries.
You know, it's funny because I said this before the show to you, and I'm going to say it to everybody here. You know how you know when you're a huge wrestling nerd? It's when you think to yourself, man, that was a great show. Mm-hmm. I can't wait until Wednesday when a wrestling journalist shares what he thought of the show. That's just stupid, right? Why can't I just like it for me? Why do I have to wait for Dave Meltzer to say that was a 5-star match?
That's true. That's true. What's crazy is though that kind of shows us how, in a way, how unimpressive WrestleMania was to a certain degree is the fact that we're not talking about the ratings for that because we don't even want to know the ratings for WrestleMania, but we do want to know the race for the NXT show because the NXT show was amazing. It started off with a 6-man match. We had, help me out because I'm not messing up some of the names. We had Adam Cole, we had Velveteen Dream, we had EC3, we had Ricochet, who just premiered. That was awesome. Debuted. We had
Killian Dane and Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
Lars Ulrich's the drummer from Metallica. That was a joke. Lars Sullivan?
Sullivan, I think. Yeah, Lars. I just know him as Lars. So what do you think about the match?
It was okay.
Oh,
it was the story. I don't know about the storytelling. It's just high spot after high spot. It was fucking awesome. Dude. It was fucking awesome. I like that my roommate, who would dabble in watching wrestling with me from time to time, I was like, dude, I think we should watch this together. I think you should come in. And he was like, it's wrong for me to like this. They're hurting each other so much. And they were hurting themselves so much. But it was amazing.
What was your favorite moment of the match?
It's tough to say. I need to watch it again. It's funny because after that whole weekend, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to watch that ladder match again. I'm going to watch Charlotte and Asuka again. And I'm going to watch the Rousey Angle tag match again.
Oh, yeah. And I'll definitely be watching Braun and Nicholas again. Hey, all I know is Sami Zayn's been on the main roster for a few years now. Nicholas was on there for one day. One's undefeated and has a belt. The other is Sami Zayn.
All right.
I'm joking. I know. Okay, all right. But I agree with you. That match was absolutely amazing. And for me, I haven't got a chance to watch NXT as dedicatedly as I would want to. And so this is me getting back into it. And haven't been around to see enough of the Undisputed Era. But I have to say, Adam Cole has sold me. Like, I'm on Adam Cole's boat right now. Like, I support what he's going on. Like, I've told people earlier, I kind of feel he's the second coming of Shawn Michaels without being the second coming of Shawn Michaels. You look at Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is obviously trying to be Shawn Michaels with the foot stomp, the kicks, the flash, and everything like that. Adam Cole just has it naturally. He has that natural charisma. He has great in-ring ability, and he's developed his own catchphrase. That whole Adam Cole, baby. Like when EC3 does it, it's hilarious. And Adam Cole looks at him like, the hell are you doing? Throws him out of the ring, and then he does it, and the crowd goes crazy for it, and the crowd is on board the whole night. Anytime the name Adam Cole is said, baby is right behind it. So I've got to say, I give this kid a lot of credit. Like, and I'm happy that he's going to be there to carry NXT for a while.
Yeah. Speaking of carrying NXT, Gargano versus Ciampa.
Wait, before we go to Gargano, just want to give a quick shout out. Velveteen Dream is awesome. It's dynamic. What he did with that match right there, some of those like spots he doesn't do like all the super flips and everything like that, but that jumping off with the elbow, some of those hard spots he took where it looks like he's about to injure himself. That kid's a natural talent. He's young too. He's only like what, 22?
He's 22.
Dude, he's
that
so
son
young.
Of a bitch.
And his future is so bright.
I'm twice as old as him. I'm two Velveteen Dreams.
Four.
I really wanted either him or Ricochet to win. But obviously, I can't be disappointed with Adam Cole.
Not at all. Let me ask you this, though. Ricochet, that was his debut. Were you impressed? Did you feel it could have been better?
Like, I mean, I saw him once live at NXT, at a PWG show, and I was like, holy shit, this guy is the fucking future.
Nice.
And, yeah, he was amazing. I mean, oh, God, it was so good.
Follow-up question, though. Are you disappointed that Ricochet went to NXT, or do you think he should have been brought to the main roster?
I think I'm not disappointed for two reasons. First of all, let's just make sure he doesn't get swallowed up on the main roster right away. And second of all, NXT can use him. They kind of need him, especially after people are still thinking that maybe Drew McIntyre is going to get pulled up. And who was the other one? Cien. They're saying Cien's going to go too. So they're going to need some star power. So I'm very good with Ricochet being there.
I agree, because I feel that they're like, I agree with you. Like, they need some people to help carry that division for a little while, because NXT is a place for great matches, a great place for developing young talent. And like you said, with Ricochet being the future, he can work with a lot of those guys in Florida at the Performance Center to help them step their in-ring game up and help them work on their high-fly moves. So it can be absolutely it's a great thing that he's there in the WWE. Okay, then we're on to our second match, which was the women's match or tag match that was next?
I think it was the women's.
The women's match. So we had Ember Moon versus...
Oh, that's right. Craig points out Ricochet doing the shooting star press off the ladder. It's like, holy cow.
Oh, nice.
It's when it was falling, I think, right? Okay, so, it was Ember Moon against Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
How do you say her name? Is it Baszler?
So Baszler or Baszler?
And Shayna sold me last time they fought. I'm sold. She's great. She's a badass. I love her.
No, she's awesome. She did a great job. How do you feel about WWE bringing all these UFC fighters currently?
If they can get the job done, I'm all for it.
I give them credit. They're putting on good matches. Rousey had a great match last night. Shayna had a good match against Ember Moon. Like, they took each other to the limit. And there's some awesome spots there when Ember does the clips off the rope and everything like that onto like the floor. I was like, good Lord, seriously? Like, how do you not injure yourself doing that, Ember? But, dude, it was a good match. And that finish, where she does the one-arm lock on Ember to make her, like, tap out and everything like that, or well, put her to sleep in that case. It was a good finish. It was a great one. Ember didn't tap, so she didn't look weak, but then she did get put to sleep, which helps push Shayna Baszler over.
Following was the Undisputed Era versus Authors of Pain versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Strong turning on everybody else and joining the Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm. I like the way this match started off, like how they kind of like took Adam Cole out of the picture early by putting him through that table. Like in kayfabe, it was like, you're already hurt, so let's take advantage of you. But from like, you know, just like building the story and whatnot, it gives him a chance to rest, so he doesn't put his body in like jeopardy because he just did a hardcore ladder match earlier, and it worked out. And so I'd agree with you. Roderick Strong turning heel and joining Undisputed Era is kind of awesome.
Yeah,
it helps make that stable even stronger. And the way that it ended with him like turning on the bruiserweight, like giving his finisher to him and then putting the guy from the Undisputed Era over him to get the pin was like, that was awesome storytelling. It was good.
And I look forward to Bobby Fish coming back and them turning on Roderick Strong.
Low key though, yeah. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with the Bruiserweight now, because you know now Bruiserweight and Roderick Strong are going to have a feud, because this is going to sit over with the Bruiserweight.
Yeah, he's teaming up with a couple of his buddies. Which one? Tyler Bate? Or who's the injured one? I don't know. A couple of them guys. A couple of them Brits are going to team up with Pete Dunne.
And they're going to get some work done.
Aleister Black defeated Andrade Cien Almas in a great match. Dude. Aleister Black looked fucking awesome.
Dude.
They were all awesome.
And Selena Vega, her Hurricanranas were amazing. They were so crisp. She was doing some of them inside the ring, outside the ring. It was just so nice, so crisp. Props to her and Aleister Black, but she never looked like, because there's times when you see like some wrestlers do like a Hurricanrana or whatnot, it's like, don't injure yourself. She was money. She was on point. Yeah. And the storytelling in this match was awesome because Aleister Black had to overcome both of them. And it was really cool, though, because a lot of times you see Aleister Black where he'll do, like, his whole legs crossed and he's, like, bored by what's going on. Didn't really happen in this match.
I don't even think that when he does that, I've never really saw that as I'm bored. I saw it as I'm focused.
Really?
That's how I always saw that.
See, I've always looked at it, he was like, a little bit of like, I'm bored, or like maybe like, it's like, step your game up, make this a challenge for me. But I can see where you say it's focused. But for me during this match, when he didn't do that, they said like, oh no, you're extra focused right now. Like, you're really on your game because you need to win this belt. Because he talked about how he needs to get this demon off his back, and he kind of sold me on it.
And then we finished up with Gargano and Ciampa, and it gave me feelings. I like it when I have feelings watching wrestling.
We've been talking for the past couple of weeks about the awesome storylines happening in Japan right now with Kenny versus Cody, with Kenny and the Golden Lovers getting back together and whatnot. And I got to give Gargano and Ciampa credit. This has been some awesome storytelling.
Maybe I'll watch that again too.
Maybe. That was an awesome match. Like, it was really hard. It was really physical, like it should have been, to the point where they're ripping up the mats, and he's doing a power bomb onto the cement floor, which is like sick and crazy. To the point where at the end of the match, they're like both swollen in different areas and whatnot. To the point where Ciampa's like begging him, like, no, this is done. And then Ciampa's still a heel, tries to do one last move, but then no. Gargano makes him tap, but not just making him tap in the crossface crippler, but then puts the leg breaks on him as well.
Well. And, you know, I was thinking of the match when you were talking. I'm sorry if you brought this up. But they actually sat down, and I'm so sorry if you just said this, because I was not in the zone.
Go ahead.
But Ciampa was ready, or Gargano was ready to take him out, and he had that moment. Was like, God, this used to be like my best friend.
Exactly.
This used to be my brother. And he stopped. And they sat next to each other, and they're like, "Why are we doing this?" Yada yada yada.
It's like, how did we get to this moment? Everything like that.
Yeah.
And this is what I talk about with wrestling. Because the thing about this is that we've talked about this before. There are just matches where you have spots, like the ladder match. The ladder match you have spots, but that's just a fun match though. But there are matches where you have spots and amazing storytelling that you will remember for years to come. And this Gargano Ciampa match is something that will stick with us for years to come because the storytelling and the build up plus the spots were so intense that it's like when Meltzer put out his ratings, if this doesn't get a 5-star review, I've lost respect for Meltzer at that point because this is a 5-star rating match, in my opinion.
And Gargano, it's like when they're sitting down, he gives them that last chance. Let's figure this out. And Ciampa's like, yeah. And he grabs and he takes that last chance, last evil act to show, nope, I'm still bad. Mm-hmm. And he catches it, makes him tap out with the mask on his face. Fantastic.
That's awesome. Okay. Gotta talk about it. Gargano. Do you move him up now, or do you leave him in NXT to try to get the belt and then move him up later?
You know, it's interesting because Daniel Bryan said at Access, he said, I want Johnny Gargano at SmackDown. I still don't know how he'll do on the main roster. Even for as over he is in NXT.
It's like having two Daniel Bryans in a way.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, because they both also use the crossface. They both like have the same build and everything like that. They're both very nice guys and everything like that. It will low-key kind of split the audience in a way. Won't have to be on Raw, won't have to be on SmackDown.
We'll see. You know, it's one of those things where I don't necessarily have to think to myself, they need to do it this way. You know what? Do what you're going to do, and I'll try to like it. I want to like it.
What about Almas? Does he move up now, or do you think they're going to keep him there for a little while?
I think the rumor is Almas is coming up.
He can. And the cool thing about it is when he comes with Selena Vega, because they need more women as well to just fill out divisions, that'll be nice to see. But we were supposed to talk about this anyway. Okay, if Almas comes up, and it seems like he will, where's he go, Raw or SmackDown?
It seems to me that everybody from NXT should go to SmackDown. It's just that's how it feels. The SmackDown is the more us-oriented show.
I agree. I feel he should go to SmackDown because, like we just talked about earlier, with Jose going to Raw, I feel he's going to get lost in the shuffle. But by putting Almas on SmackDown, I feel he can get highlighted more. I feel Selena Vega can like help in that women's division. I feel they can have some really great heel moments and whatnot, and just kind of have fun.
All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap her up here. We've got an exciting week next week. The Superstar Shakeup, the draft. How are things going to turn out? It's another must-see week. We got Sasha and Bayley on Monday. We have the draft on both days. Is there anything on Tuesday? I don't think any matches have been announced for Tuesday.
But what we do have for Tuesday, though, is the Superstar Shakeup is a 2-day event. It's going to start on Raw, but it's going to continue on SmackDown. So we're going to see a lot of shifting going on, but then we're going to see some surprise debuts on SmackDown. And, of course, there's those big names that we haven't really talked about. John Cena. He's still wrestling. He hasn't retired yet. Where does he go? And then we have, again, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns can get moved around. Samoa Joe can get moved around. We can move Seth Rollins. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Johnny, you are on the internets, right?
Oh, yes.
Where can we find you on the internet?
Well, if you have AOL, you can find me at... No, seriously. You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter. Again, that's JohnnyP313. And actually, if you're in the Claremont College areas this weekend, you know I write comic books. I write a comic called Black vs. Brown Hand, Broken, Teen Horror. I'll actually be at the Claremont Colleges doing a signing this weekend. So if you get a chance, come on by. Come chat.
That's cool. What's your next show on the hashtag show?
The next show you can catch me on is usually you can catch me on the Hinge and Hangout on Saturdays, but my next show will actually be this show next Tuesday.
All right, cool. Well, I'm Kevin Kittredge, at Kevin Kittredge on Twitter and Instagram. And I think we're ready to call it.
Yep.
We're calling it Out of the Ring.
There it is.
We're going out of the ring. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you next week. Big week next week.
For sure. Have a good one.
Bye. Ta-da.
Dope. Good job, Kate.